Welcome everyone. My name is Tristan Rudolfs, and in this video I will show you how you can get these Skew-Ts that Brian has been using in the previous videos from online sources. In these videos we will discuss two of many possibilities. In this case we will discuss windy.com and Meteorologics. Of course there are many other sites that you can use to retrieve Skew-Ts. In basis they all provide the same information. We decided to show these two because to us, these are the two most intuitive websites to get your Skew-Ts from.
This is the interface that you will see when you go to windy.com. In my case, it's centered around the Netherlands because it knows I'm in the Netherlands. If you look it up and you're, for example, located in Spain, it will probably center Spain something like this, right? What the advantages of windy.com is that you can scroll throughout the whole world and you can see the weather everywhere. But the main thing that I want to show you today is how to get to sounding data, how to get the Skew-T from windy.com. And to do so, we will, for example, take a spot here on the coast of Spain in the region of Catalonia, and we push the right mouse button. When we do this, we get a menu. We see the location and its elevation, but most importantly, here we have a button to find the sounding. This will open a sounding on the right-hand side of our screen, where we have two main lines. We have the red line, which is the temperature line, and we have the blue line showing the dew point temperature. In addition to this, when I hold my mouse anywhere in the Skew-T, it will indicate the requirements to have the lifting condensation level at the location of my cursor. We can use this functionality of windy.com to determine the lifting condensation level ourselves. Here, for example, what I do right now is I put the green dotted line that goes from my cursor to the surface at the start of the temperature profile. So here approximately at 26 degrees Celsius. And then I put the gray line that goes from my cursor to the surface at -1 degrees Celsius. So the gray line is the line of constant moisture, right? That's the line that we have been drawing ourselves constantly. The green dotted line from my cursor to the surface is the dry adiabatic line. If we cross those, which happens at my cursor, we find the lifting condensation level, which is here around 4 kilometers. And then, of course, above it, if a parcel would rise further, now we should follow the moist adiabatic line. So you see that the straight green dotted line changes into a curved green dotted line. So this is a very handy functionality of windy.com. If you scroll down, you can find more information. Here also, the lifting condensation level is set around 4 kilometers. So we were right with our estimation. Besides showing you the LCL, you have also the option to select different models. Standard it's on ECWMF, but you could also choose GFS, an American model, or two more local models, Icon and Icon EU, and Arome. And for example, if you select Arome, you will see that it only covers a limited region, right? So it only covers Northwestern Europe and France and a bit of Spain. So depending on your location, you can choose different models. Feel free to choose the model that works for you in the region that you're in. The last feature I want to highlight is the fact that you can find measurements here. So this shows measurements in the region. So for example, here we could look at the measured profile at Murcia. Looking at the measurements, we see again two different profiles. We see the dew point temperature in blue, and we see, of course, the actual measured temperature in red. In addition, we see the measured wind here on the right side. And of course, similar to the modeled profiles, we get our very handy tool to determine the height of the lifting condensation level. But here again, also the lifting condensation level is already given below the Skew-T. Additionally, if we scroll down, we can see the other measurements that have been done in the region. And furthermore, we get some details on the sounding that was used and on the location, etc. So this was windy. Let's now have a look at Meteorologics. In contrary to windy.com, when you go to meteorologics.com, you don't directly get the forecast. When you want to select the forecast, you have to go to the upper left corner and then select the chart that you want. You can select global charts from ECWMF, or you can go to more local regions such as Europe or North America here. So I will select the icon D2. you will see that when I select this, I automatically get a weather map of the temperature of the Netherlands. The region here is specific to the computer that you use. My computer knows that it's located in Europe, or specifically in the Netherlands, so it will automatically give me the map of the Netherlands. If you want to select your own region or a different region, you can go to this region selection tool, where you can select any country in Europe. For example, we can go to Belgium, which is a neighboring country of the Netherlands. To get to the point, we want to get a predicted Skew-T diagram, right? And to get those, we can use this balloon symbol. So this balloon, if you click anywhere on the map, will give the predicted Skew-T. So this is not measured, but rather the output of the weather models. And so if we wait a few seconds, this always takes a bit, it will render a Skew-T diagram based on the model output. In this diagram, we will see two different lines again. The red line, which is the temperature line, and the green line, which shows the dew point temperature. And here, if you remember from Windy, they used a blue color for the dew point temperature. So you will have to get used to different colors for the same lines if you use different tools at the same time. So this is an important thing to consider. Different than windy.com as well is that there is no interactive tool. Here you have to look at the lines yourself. So we have in green dashed lines, we have the lines of equal moisture, in red the dry adiabats, and in blue the moist adiabat. And what we can see here is that Meteorologics gives us the mixed layer lifting condensation level. This is basically the lifting condensation level based on the dry adiabat and the line of constant moisture, the method that we have been using the whole time in this video series. And similarly to windy.com, if you go here to the right side of the graph, you will see that the lifting condensation level is already explicitly calculated for you, so you don't have to look at it yourself.
With this knowledge on these websites, you can now get your own Skew-Ts for your own fires or for your own situations. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.